Hey everybody, Steve Przebrowski here. Welcome to tip number 92 in the series 101 Tips to Ace Your Promotional Exam. And as a reminder, my website, code3firetraining.com, has lots of great free information. If you haven't checked it out, please do so. A lot of great resources. And this series is based on my latest book from Fire Engineering Books and Videos with the same name, available off their website as well as mine below. Now, tip 92, pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Sadly, many don't, I guess, get it or choose to get it. Pretty simply put, don't allow mediocrity, incompetence, arrogance, or complacency to set in any capacity. Now, this is a good leadership, management, supervisory tip for any one of us in the fire service, even if you're not in a leadership rank. Even for a basic firefighter or engineer who doesn't supervise, but definitely has ability to lead and obviously may not manage, should still never let mediocrity, incompetence, arrogance, or complacency set in. Just pretty straightforward. Now, if you've been following or if you've checked out the book, you notice that in addition to all these 101 tips, I have a number of friends, mentors, brothers and sisters of mine of different ranks from around the country that have helped provide words of wisdom. So the voice of experience for this tip is good buddy of mine, Billy D. Hayes, out of Alabama. He's a retired fire chief, really good, solid dude, does a lot of leadership stuff. Check him out if you haven't done so already. He does a lot of great things, written a lot of great articles, but he provides some words of wisdom for this tip because, you know, this could be used in everything. When I say everything, most departments for promotional process will have some type of assessment center. So obviously you may or may not have a written test, but you may have an oral interview. You may have a fireground tactical exercise to successfully manage. You may have a personnel counseling scenario or role play, subordinate counseling session. This is where this really comes in because you may be given hypothetical situations about how you're going to handle a personnel issue or the big one, whatever that big one is, whether it's a personnel issue or on the incident scene. But a lot of people, a lot of times, try to answer things the way they think the oral board or the raters, if it's not an oral board, the raters want to hear. No, do the right thing. And the right thing is never lowering the bar. I know we all have examples of that in our own respective departments we could probably pin to, but don't let yourself get sucked into that. Obviously, don't strive for bare minimum because just 70% say if that's passing or 80%, whatever your passing point is, strive for above that. But on the flip side, don't allow yourself to just squeak by. Don't allow yourself to do anything that's going to not improve things for the better or hold people accountable, as painful as it may be for you and for them. So don't allow mediocrity, incompetence, arrogance, or complacency to set in on anything. I know it's easier said than done, and sometimes that's the easy way because a lot of times we don't want conflict, but we also got to look at doing the right thing, which is usually obviously each of these items amongst many other things. Yeah, I know, easier said than done, especially since you have to hold others accountable and yourself. And I'm pointing at me for myself as well too. And you know what they say about accountability? Once you have to hold somebody accountable, whether it's one of your crew members, whether it's maybe your boss, whether it's maybe a peer, maybe it's whoever, once you have to hold someone accountable, you're now the other A, which is asshole. Yeah, body part. That's the unfortunate part is you ask a lot of people in today's world about accountability, they'll be the first to say, hold people accountable. You're not holding people accountable. And that's what a lot of leaders, managers, supervisors get criticized for, not just during the promotional process, but in the real world. Well, now you hold people accountable. Well, what do you mean? Me? Why me? What did I do? Come on, give me a break. Throw me a bone. Give me a solid. Yeah. And then, of course, you're the asshole. So accountability is a tough one. And I don't think there's enough of that out there. It's one thing to say you have expectations, but it's another thing to actually hold people accountable. You know, back to the tip itself, don't allow mediocrity, incompetence. Let me just go back just to make sure. Don't allow mediocrity, incompetence, arrogance, or complacency. I want to give you a quick little example here. I remember as a battalion chief, I went to one of the firehouses and I say, hey guys, you know, it's an afternoon. I'm just doing my rounds, stopping by. It's like, hey guys, I haven't thrown an SCBA for a while, so who wants to time me? I'll time you guys, but I want to go first and everything else. And our standard is 60 seconds for the Scott SCBA. And I hadn't done it for a while. As a battalion chief, we don't wear our SCBAs that often. We have to at times, but not that often. And that's on me for not practicing and not being sharp. But anyway, hey, went to a firehouse. Hey guys, would someone time me? Yeah, sure, chief. Well, I made a point of going myself first because a lot of times nobody ever wants to be laughed at or embarrassed, and I want to catch people doing the right thing, not the wrong thing. So that's why I'm going to go first. And you know what? Let them laugh at me. I don't care. That's, to me, is good leadership, is letting them laugh at you taking the high road. But anyway, I get all my stuff laid out and I look at the captain. I'm like, let me know when you're ready. He's like, hey, whenever you want to go, chief. And he's like, all right, chief, on count of three. Okay. So I'm like all set up and he's like, go, and I get it. It was like 75 seconds. And I was freaking embarrassed because I got all the guys watching and they're like, good job, chief. Yeah, glad you don't do that to keep your job. They're just having fun. It's good, breaking each other's body parts. Yeah, just busting balls. That's fine. But anyway, they're laughing at me and everything else. It was like 75 seconds. I'm like, that ain't good, guys. That was my warm up, right? Yeah, you're mulligan, chief, right? Yeah, well, so I do it a second time. I get it down to like about 60 whatever seconds. Well, then about third time, because I'm really getting pissed now because, it's embarrassing. I have high standards, but it's on me because I know I should have practiced more. But anyway, I got it down to like, I think 61 or 62 seconds. Well, I remember when the person holding the not the stopwatch, they're using their iPhone counting, sorry, old school, that's why I say stopwatch, but new school is using obviously the smartphone. But anyway, chief, good enough, close enough. That's good enough. You don't have to worry about it, and everything else. And I was like 1 or 2 seconds over. And I'm like, and it was very tempting just because I don't want to do this again. It's a pain in the ass. I got shit to do and I got stations to hit. But I go, no, this isn't right. I mean, here the crew is just, chief, don't worry about it. We won't tell anybody. Yeah, that can be tempting sometime, but I'm not going to fall for that, because had I just said, okay, no problem, 61, don't tell anybody. Yeah, right. Never have anybody tell you that. That one lesson I've learned in life is that whenever somebody doesn't want to be held accountable and they try to give you a way out there, or they say something like, don't worry, I'll never tell anybody. Guess what? As long as that there's, meaning that's one person, even if it's just you and the other person, there's just the two of you, they're going to tell somebody at some point. Odds are that's human nature, either in a good way or a not so good way. So nothing's ever a secret. So just remember that. Don't forget it, because one day, even when you're trying to help somebody out and even do the right thing, they may tell somebody else and go to bat for you, saying, hey, you know what, chief's a good guy because he helped me out there. And then next thing you know, that person goes, wait a second, you threw me under the bus, chief. Why'd you play favoritism with that person? Ah, shit, no good deed goes unpunished. But anyway, had I let them pass me, I would have basically allowed mediocrity and call it incompetence, inappropriate behavior. I knew I was not going to get 30 seconds for a 60-second SCBA. I wouldn't expect that. Maybe when I was brand new recruit, but I wanted to get to like the low 50s, like 51, 52 in a perfect world. And it took me, I think, like 5 tries. And I finally passed, like, I think I did it like in 58 seconds, 57 seconds. And I know you're laughing right now going, fucking chief, yeah, I get it. I got it down to like 52 seconds, but you know what? It took me a few tries, but I didn't want to have them pass me, say, on 61 or 62 seconds when 60 seconds is the standard. But on the flip side, I didn't want to just pass with, say, well, 59 seconds or 60, right in the nose, chief, you got it. I wanted to at least hold myself accountable a little bit more than that, and I got it to a better number, and I wanted to leave them on that, because again, had I allowed them to basically just throw me a bone or give me a solid or bro me out or whatever you want to call it, and allow that minimum standard, or that even worse, mediocrity, or that just barely above standard, what I permit, I promote. And that's a message I don't want to send, because if I ever have to hold them accountable, which odds are we all have to hold each other accountable at some point, they'd be the first to say, well, chief, we let you slide. You didn't say anything about it. So what's, you're better than us right now. So why is it good for you, but not good for us? And again, that's human behavior. So you know what? Don't settle for mediocrity, incompetence, arrogance, inappropriate behavior. Hold yourself and hold others accountable. And yeah, you're going to be the other the asshole at times. So Paul Combs, if you've read the book or seen the book or you heard me talk, Paul was kind enough to share the artwork, and the artwork that he allowed me to use for this one was basically "Behold Your Leader." Looks like Bob's promotion came through. It's like, okay, when you get that promotion, whether it's company officer, chief officer, you're not any better than anybody else. Don't forget where you came from, but you gotta remember that all eyes are on you, and it's not just during the promotional process, it's especially when you get the promotion. So make sure that whether it's the process or real life, you hold others accountable in a fair, consistent way. So yeah, ultimately what you permit, you promote. And once you start allowing mediocrity, incompetence, arrogance, or complacency, then it becomes the norm. People don't forget. Again, they may do you a favor, they'll expect the same in return. That's just human nature. So don't be that person. So as a reminder, my social media contacts, phone number, cell phone off the website there. If I can be of any assistance, don't hesitate to reach out. So until the next time, till the next tip or the next time we connect with each other, have a great one. Be safe. Take care. We'll see you soon. Bye.